Okay, so today is Wednesday, 10th of January 2018, and you can see the current temperatures across all the cities in Australia at the moment. I'm not far from Canberra, where it's currently 21 degrees, and what is it? It's around 12:22 in the afternoon. So, okay, so there's the cloud popping off the Western Australian coast in association with a tropical low that is predicted to become a tropical cyclone. So if we click on the warnings, current tropical cyclone, that will bring up the map showing the position of the low. It's got some information below. Then if we click on the low, it will come up with a track map and an advice. So this is issued at 8:52 AM this morning, and it's advice number 11. So you can see here, it's still forecast to become a tropical cyclone tomorrow, January 11. I have a suspicion it might actually become a cyclone today rather than tomorrow, and it's got it coming into Sandfire as a category 3 system on January 12th. So my suspicion is based on something coincidental rather than meteorology, and to show you what I mean, so you saw there, if we go back, there is one active system, so that's this one. But if we have a look at, okay, so tropical cyclone, yes, and the twink who gets spanked hard would be Irving, because Irving is a naughty boy. He's sneaky and he has flown right under the radar. Let's see, our naughty boy Irving. Okay, so this is Weather Underground, where you expect to find all the naughty boys. And Underground this is an American site. So tropical cyclone Irving, we'll follow the link to Irving. And let's see what's happening with Irving. Well, there we go. Tropical cyclone Irving. This is from 12 PM, January 10, 2018. And there's our Irving, a category 1 hurricane equivalent. Keeping in mind this is an American site. It's showing the outlook for tomorrow. By tomorrow it'll be a tropical storm. So the Americans do it a little bit differently to us. Their ratings are a bit different. But Irving, as you can see, is definitely a storm. And that's what kind of gets interesting, because I'm about to play an excerpt from the Weather Channel from today, and you'll hear that they refer to the storm that's about to form off the Western Australian coast as Irving. Now that can't be, because that would mean there's two Irvings. So let's play this and see what they say.
Friday is looking like a very busy day here at Sky News Weather. We also will be tracking our tropical low, which is hitting northern parts of WA. Still a bit of model uncertainty on this one. It may form now into a tropical cyclone this evening in the early hours of Thursday morning. Talk us through it.
It's a good chance, actually, because it is popping off the coast just now. This is some model data looking at the forecast track of that low. It's heading west at the moment at 11 kilometres per hour. It's forecast to make a left-hand turn and then head south towards the far west Kimberley coastline. Too early to say exactly when it will hit the coast, but more than likely it will be sometime on Friday. And the Bureau right now have it intensifying tomorrow into a Cat 2 and then into a Cat 3 before making landfall. Now, Sam, it is actually possible it will never become a cyclone. It's not likely. It's only a slight chance. But if it was to stay on a more eastward track, just inland from Broome, well, it will just remain as a tropical low and bring heavy rainfall. But more than likely, we will have a cyclone, probably developing at some point later on Wednesday. As a result, cyclone warning has been issued. The red shading from Koory Bay to Wall Downs, that includes Broome. That area in the red could see gale force wind for the next 24 hours. Now today, nothing above damaging. Destructive winds, gusting over 125 kilometres per hour, could develop on Thursday if the cyclone is close enough to the coast and if it does intensify.
And if it does form into a cyclone, it will be called Tropical Cyclone Irving.
Irving. Okay, that's next on the list. So we're up to I on the list. Irving's the one, and this is the second system to make landfall, if it does, already this season, and they've both been in exactly the same spot, just off that coast of Bruin.
So it's looking like a dangerous 24 hours ahead in terms of if that cyclone does or does not form off that north coast of WA. Stay tuned. In 60 seconds, we've had extreme weather hitting parts of the United States. We'll tell you where shortly.
True. And here's why I think the cyclone's going to form today. And I've already explained why I think it's going to be named Joyce rather than Irving. Because you can't have two Irvings. Irving's been a very sneaky little brat, sneaking under the radar, tricking everybody, being a prankster. And now Joyce is going to be the one that is named where everyone's thinking it's going to be Irving. So Joyce has a value of 58, and that happens to be the same value as the name Nathan. And Nathan's one of the boys who is behind my predictions. Calendar also has a value of 58. Nathan Breeze is the boy I'm talking about. He died aged 13 in the Black Saturday bushfires back in 2009. Nathan, 58. Joyce, 58. And 5 plus 8 is 13, Nathan's age. Nathan was 13, Jake was 11, and that's Jacob Wetterling from Minnesota. Both boys have names, interestingly, that relate to weather, Breeze and Wetterling. Wetterling means weather child. Have Faith, Josh, 10, 9:45. I think that is part of this. The time, 9:45, is going to come into all of this somewhere. 10 is today's date, Wednesday, 10th of January 2018. In 58 days from now, it will be Friday, 9th of March 2018. And I'm making a prediction for that date, or what some people might call a prophecy, because it's not very scientific. But basically, if you take the value of Joyce, which is the number of days between today and Friday, 9th of March, and add 11, which is Jake's age, 11, you get 69. Red Rain, 69. Riley, 69. Riley. I think Riley is going to be the 10th storm, the 10th cyclone of this season for Australia, just as Jose was the 10th Atlantic hurricane of 2017. And I think Riley will make landfall on Friday, 9th of March 2018, which is 58 days from today. So that's my prediction. It's kind of Nathan's prediction, I suppose. It's Joyce's prediction in a way. Definitely Nathan's prediction, definitely Jake's prediction. Riley equals 69. Now, speaking of Jose, Jose was on Wednesday, the 6th of September, the 6th of the 9th. And that was the birthday of a boy who turned 15 on the 6th of September. And that's the boy who told me Wetterling means weather child. He grew up in Germany, so he knew German. And so he knew Wetter means weather, Ling, little one. And when I saw the name Irving couple of months ago on the hurricane or the tropical cyclone name list for Australia this year, I immediately thought of that boy. It was like he had said that name to me, Irving. And I was like, maybe Irving's going to be the big one this year. Actually, no. Irving was a severe tropical cyclone, but Irving, because it did go to category 3 level, had 105 mile per hour winds, which is about 170 kilometers an hour, which puts it well and truly into category 3 tropical cyclone, and category 2 hurricane equivalent. Irving, the sneaky boy. And what did I used to call the boy who turned 15 on the 6th of September? I used to call him the sneaky boy, because he used to always sneak up on me. That was his way of greeting me, was to sneak up behind me, and sometimes he'd jump on my back or whatever. So yeah, it makes sense. It's making more and more sense. And Riley, 69. Well, Riley represents his date of birth. I did predict that Hurricane Jose would make landfall at 9:45 p.m. Australian time on the 6th of September. As it turned out, Jose never made landfall at all, but lasted 22 days. 16 days as a tropical storm, a named storm. So, very interesting. And the book, Red Rain equals 69. This is interesting because this book's about identical twins. And guess what happened to them? Twin angels, they're 12-year-old boys. And according to the culture of this island, identical twins can control the weather. So there's an interesting story behind how I found this book too. I was at the Queanbeyan Library, and it was just about 2 hours after I first wrote Red Rain equals 69. So the first time I ever wrote this. Red Rain equals 69. And 2 hours later I'm at the library, and I look up, and what's there? Well, it wasn't Samantha and Tom, it was Red Rain by R.L. Stine. And of course I noticed it because I had just written it 2 hours earlier. And this was on Halloween 2015. So of course I borrowed the book, and as soon as I started reading it, I kind of knew, yes, there's something in this book. By morning, the hurricane had passed, but not before destroying every home, every building, every life on the island. So, complete devastation from this hurricane. Even though islands usually are not such a bad place to be in a hurricane, because the storm surge is usually not as bad on an island as it can be on land. I did notice something else very interesting. 90. Jacob Wetling, when I found this book, was a missing person, and he was at the front of my mind at the time. 90 equals missing, or missing equals 90. 233, Jacob Irwin Wetling equals 233. 65 is the value of Kelly. My surname is Kelly. And 87 is the value of birthday. And the date that I've calculated here, Friday 9th of March 2018, is the birthday of my best friend. And it's actually the birthday of my best friend who got banned from Australia by Immigration and Border Protection. And Peter Dutton, MP, is the minister in charge of that awful government department. So I've kind of said in some of my videos that this prophecy is a prophecy aimed at sending a message against bullies in government, bullies who separate people, bullies who ignore pleas from people who have been victims of crime. And yeah, I do believe this, 100%. Nathan was the victim of a bushfire. What kind of grudge does Nathan have? Well, for starters, he and his family spent hours trying to evacuate from Kinglake West, and were unable to because the roads they couldn't get out on the roads. To this day, the roads in Kinglake West have not been repaired. They're still awful dirt roads in and out of that place. It's still a bushfire death trap if the same thing were to happen again. There's still no good mobile phone coverage there. And it just goes to the heart of how, even in the face of absolute tragedy and disaster, government is all too willing to turn a blind eye to a small community. And that is pretty bad. Jacob Wetling was the victim of a predator who, going back to when Jake was abducted, 1989, yeah, there were more, these days they talk about sexual assault as in, someone's only got to touch someone the wrong way and they're talking about sexual assault. What happened to Jake being abducted at gunpoint, taken off to some place in the middle of nowhere at night, and sexually assaulted and then shot dead. It sort of takes away from what happened to him, the way people talk about sexual assault today. And back then in 1989, people like that were more common, more prevalent, because there was less acceptance. In fact, homosexuality was illegal. So you had more predators like that. And, that's a factor in this, in why would Jake have an axe to grind or a grudge to bear enough to want to, put his name to a prophecy by me, and I definitely have an axe to grind with immigration. Well, anyone who promotes bigotry and prejudice is contributing towards violence. And that's basically what this is about. It's a message against bigotry and against bullying at a government level. People in authority who like to have power over others. That is the worst form of evil there is in the world. And if you read this book by R.L. Stein, Daniel, the twin Daniel, is the one that you will see is evil. And it's because he likes having power over people. Samuel is the one who does the killing. But Samuel's actually quite a likable boy compared to Daniel. But Sammy has the gift that allows him to create fire with his eyes, with his mind. He has pyrokinesis. So yeah, that's my prediction. And, well, that's my prediction. In 58 days from now, it will be Friday, 9th of March 2018. Riley will be the 10th tropical cyclone of the season. There will be 11 altogether. The last one will be Savannah, which may happen at the same time as Riley. And that's my prophecy against immigration and border protection, home affairs, and it's Minister Peter Dutton, who I regard as being by far the worst politician in Australia.